Hi there, it's David Johnson from Delivering Age Communications, and I'm absolutely delighted today to be with Bruno Huber. Bruno Huber is the General Manager, Thailand's first ASQ hotel, Movenpick BDMS Wellness Resort, Bangkok. Bruno, welcome.
Welcome, David, and thank you very much for the opportunity to talk with you today.
No, not at all. It's just fascinating. We're really keen to understand or to know more about your story. How has it been managing an ASQ hotel, the first in Thailand?
Well, it's certainly different. And one thing we realized very early is that e-commerce has not been prepared to run a quarantine hotel. We went all back to manual, if you want. The fact that there is a number of websites describing quarantine, that there are blogs, there are Facebook groups and so on that are all describing this experience a little differently doesn't make it easier for us, if you want.
Right.
So one of the biggest jobs that we actually have is answering phone calls and answering emails from all over the world. So we had to increase the number of people in our operator and reservation departments. And myself, I'm getting something like 100 emails a day. Wow. And phone calls. They come from all over, from Europe, from area. How is it? People understandably want to know about this experience, want to know what is this quarantine all about, what can I do, what can I not do, and we're becoming sort of an information center that has to provide not only hospitality information, but it goes into medical questions that come in that our team has to be prepared. And we had, with the help of Bangkok Hospital there, a great assistance to help us in getting the right answer to those questions.
I'm really keen to find out from your point of view. You've been a hotelier for many years, and I'm presuming this is the first time you've actually had to manage an ASQ hotel. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So tell us what the difference is in terms of the day-to-day running of a hotel. Yeah. How is it different?
I mean, the biggest difference is what you see right here is we don't see any guests. We have a hotel that is absolutely full. We have every guest room is occupied. There is something like 250, 300 people in our hotel, and we don't see them. We see them a bit in the garden. And that makes a huge difference in communicating, of course, because you don't have body language, you don't understand what they want. They also go through a complete different experience. For them, being locked in for 2 weeks has a psychological sort of impact on them. So my day consists of actually talking to guests on the phone, and as many as possible I do call. And for me it's a courtesy call. When you walk through a restaurant, you have a little chat, but these people want to talk to you, so you're ending up having they want some, which is very lovely, of course, but that's something that is very different. And we also, as an operation, we have to be much more careful in producing guest logs, what's happening. So every morning we sit together and we have a centralized station that does every input, everything that comes from a guest. We put it together and we look what are the needs, what were the things that were happening in terms of food, in terms of what happened in the guest during the day. Did they call something that we actually go through? We don't see them, we don't know what's happening, so we want to address their needs. So it all becomes remote, it all becomes on paper, and then with telephone call.
Are there any particular surprising things that are unexpected things that have happened during the time? I mean, you've been an ASQ hotel for
since
how long?
25th of April 2020, so actually the first one. It's quite something. Yes, actually, some of the learnings were what guests want to do during their stay. What can we? And in many cases, it was the guests who brought us ideas. It didn't grow on us, and one of them became a huge success. So the entire fitness side of it, you could not open sport, you couldn't open fitness centers because of the COVID thing. So we had one guest to say, "Can I rent a bike?" And we go, "Yeah, of course you can do that." And we go, "That may be a business." And so we went around the city, and most of the hotels were closed, and so we found about 5 or 6 different suppliers that gave us bikes, cross trainers, running machines, weight racks, and so on. We made last month, just by renting out sport equipment, 630,000 baht revenue. And we have sort of 60, 70 pieces of equipment renting out every single day.
No, that's fantastic.
So these little things you learn, and you address a need, and then you say there's an opportunity, and then there's a few other things that we did, and we adjusting the room service menus, the room offering, what is there. Every few weeks we look what has sold, what has not sold, what do they like, and then we address it. We are opening now, we are allowed to open selling drinks in the garden with social distancing and so on, where they can have an ice cream when they walk around or something like that. So we are trying to make make it as comfortable as we possibly can to address individual needs.
It's great. It's really, really inspiring hearing you say this, actually, because you need to have some sort of an entrepreneurial mind too. And actually to have, from a business point of view, how important has this been to become an ASQ hotel?
We would probably be closed, and we would have no staff member employed at this hotel if we would not have the ASQ. Wow. It's as simple as it is. And when we looked at a number of business models last March, I mean, every number we put together did not see a survival of this hotel for at least the end of the year. We looked at that at October, and so did every hotel in Bangkok. I mean, there was just, if there's no tourists, Bangkok doesn't have a domestic business. There's very little domestic arrivals. If there's no arrivals from outside Thailand, Bangkok is an empty city. The main idea in the beginning was, how can we keep everybody employed? It was not about making profit or making money at the first place. What can we do to get everybody employed? And this was actually a wish of our chairman directly. He said, find something together with the capacities of Bangkok, or the medical and the hotel. There must be something we can do to combine both together and find a way to keep everybody employed. And then the ASQ was born. We went to the government and said, can we do a privately paid quarantine system, which was then approved a few weeks later.
No, I mean, it seems very much the medical with the hospitality is a match made in heaven, really.
It was a match in heaven.
But I suppose
absolutely.
It begs the question too about what next. What happens after COVID? How do you then go back to becoming a normal hotel? Have you considered how you will reopen as a normal hotel?
Yeah. The question is, how normal will it be after COVID? And I think that's what occupies now. This is the biggest work I have right now on my desk is to restart. And very clearly, there is a number of models we have been driving through. We have been making projections, even some investments that will be happening. This hotel will definitely have a wellness component, a huge wellness component once the COVID is over. This marriage between the hospital and the hotel has taught us how to operate together, how to work together, how to understand each other's language, and we want to build on that very clearly. I mean, I can't give much away now. It's a lot is work in progress. But they have 5 or 6 different models have been discussed. Have been with Accor, with the owner, with the hospitals, and we do projections, marketing programs, distribution possible feasibilities, and so on this. I do a lot of reading into this thing right now, and the 10 webinars I have time for this. But it will be something where we try to integrate diagnostical medicine together with holistic treatments, so that the guest gets a complete preventive experience with a diagnostical check, with clear data of where you stand in your life, where your body is, where are your weak points, and then adapting a holistic program to it. And this is going to be extremely fascinating.
No, absolutely fascinating. Yes. And particularly the acceleration of wellness and health into people's lives because of COVID is going to be much. I
think this whole COVID has taught all of us that healthy living is important, that chronic diseases can be a huge handicap if something like a virus is coming up. Absolutely, yes.
Bruno Huber, General Manager, Movenpick BDMS Wellness Resort, Bangkok. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, David. Thank you very much. Thank you.